Thank you for tuning in to another episode of YQG in Bloom. I'm your host, Tracy Martins, and today I am at Urban Art Market with the owner, Anissa Noakes.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, thanks for being here.
Oh, I'm so excited. And on your birthday? It's the store birthday.
The store birthday. This is the 7th anniversary of Urban Art Market this week.
Nice.
Yes. It's exciting.
I did not realize it was here for 7 years. I just found it a couple of years ago, and we used to be across the street.
And we still get lots of people who come in and we're like, wow, we didn't know you were here. So it's kind of great that we still are finding people who are new to us.
Now, I love the diverse collection of creators that you have. What is your standard? Like, how do you choose who is in here, who isn't?
Well, I mean, it started with 12 makers, and they were all my friends that I met at craft shows. So that's kind of how it began, and then it just kind of evolved from there. It's kind of something new, something different. And to be honest, when customers come in and you tell them what the store is about and that we're all 100% locally handmade, they're shocked that it's handmade. So quality is definitely the key. Mm-hmm. When it looks like it came from a box store, but it's not. It's totally made from someone's hands from our community. That's the best.
Oh, I know. I did. I love this. Like this. This is amazing. This little coaster. Yeah. How did somebody make that?
The creativity in the city is amazing.
It's insane.
It's really amazing. And every month that goes by, every year that goes by, I meet more and more creative people who have these little side hustles that they have, or hobbies that they've had in their basement for years, and are now just thinking, I wonder if I could make money at it. And yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Now, this is not your only business, though. You also are a crafter yourself.
I am. It started as a crafter.
And that's the story that I really wanted to get to, is how you became a crafter, because you weren't always a crafter.
No, my background is forestry and mining. So I lived out west for 17 years and worked in the forestry industry, worked overseas in the mining industry. And I came home in between contracts, and I ended up staying to be with my family. And I needed to sort of reinvent myself. Needless to say, my forestry degree wasn't going to do much for me here. So I started knitting and crocheting, and that's sort of how it started. And I put myself through business and marketing school. Oh, wow. And I started doing markets and shows, and I was like, wow, that's helping me pay for my business online. And then I had this idea, I guess, and it kind of snowballed from there.
Do you knit as well?
I do a little bit of knitting. I'm a crocheter first. I'll say that. If I have to get some stuff done, crocheting is my go-to.
Well, it's always fastest.
Yeah, so.
And she has Stray Sheep Design.
So yeah, my business is Stray Sheep Company. Yeah. And I've been doing it for about 11 years now.
Wow. So
it's been a while.
Yes.
I can't seem to stop. It gives me some quiet time and peace at the end of the day. And if I don't put my stuff somewhere, my husband will never let me buy yarn again. So.
Yeah, my husband knows all about that. Way too much yarn, because you never have the right color. You always need more.
Always need more, yeah.
Always need more. Now, how many designers and crafters do you have usually on a waiting list? Like, is there a waiting list?
I do have an online application, and it's kind of generally been open throughout the year. So it really depends on who's leaving, who's going to come in. There's no sort of secret formula to it. Sometimes if there's something unique that I've never had in the store, I'll bring them in instead. But I generally open my applications in January when it's less busy. And like this month in itself, I had 35 applications this month.
And I know you do have a few new ones that are coming in.
I do have 2 new makers coming in, and 2 more in March, which is kind of exciting. So it's nice because I've had makers in the shop who've been with me since day one, the original 12, I called them. I've like 3 of them still here. And then I like that little bit of turnover because it kind of keeps it fresh. And we have Walkerville's an amazing supportive community. We have a lot of regulars. So it's nice to have something different each time. And there's so many great makers in Windsor, Essex that I want to keep it going. Keep it going. Exactly. So I think over the years we've had maybe over 150 makers circulate through the shop.
That's the one thing I love about Essex County is we have so many creative people. We have the Art in the Park that comes to Windsor, but realistically, we could do that all on our own with the amount of crafters we have. In fact, you've shown that this year with working with the Walkerville BIA and the amount of open streets that you guys had this year with local vendors, like, it was amazing.
And makers are just looking for opportunities to set up and show off what they've got. And I love the fact that I can give them that opportunity either here or at a single day market for 6 hours. And when I see them making money and selling it, it gives them satisfaction. It really makes me happy.
Oh,
it really
for
does.
Sure.
Yeah.
It kind of gives you that to do it yourself
for sure.
as well.
And it's great networking to find these people that are sort of hidden in the corner of Windsor, Essex, creating awesome things, and it gets them out into the community.
As a crafter myself, we all say the same thing. We can't do that. We could never go into a store. We don't have enough.
That's the thing. You totally can. And I think a big part of it too is the maker community. Once they sort of meet these people, it's motivating, it's inspiring to actually make income from this. And I think that really pushes people to either quit their daytime job and do it full time, which a lot of my makers have done. And I like that the store is just a way to diversify their income in that way.
Yeah.
So it's great to see, actually.
Now, I have heard from one of your vendors in here, but they say that you are the one. It is you. You're the master. How did she say it? You're a master at displaying the store. You'll come in like a tornado and have the place shaped up in a short amount of time. And it's like you switch everything around and all of a sudden
it
sales.
Looks new. Yeah. I really enjoy placement and stuff, and I have sort of my way, and some makers will say, just put it in the back, Anissa will put it out. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I come in a couple times a week and I just tidy it up and I move things around, and I will remember that I've moved one thing from here to there and that day it'll sell. Like, it's just one of those weird things. Yeah. So it's kind of fun. I enjoy it a lot though.
Oh, that's amazing. Now see, that's a job.
Merchandising is a separate job in itself. Yeah.
Oh, I know. And someone else from very close to my heart, Meg from Iris and Marnie.
Sweetest person ever.
My gosh, she is. I asked her about you and she said you are really the heartbeat of the handmade scene here in Windsor. And it's because of you that the makers have had an incredible opportunity for many years. You've always encouraged her from day one, and she truly looks to you as her mentor and small business inspiration.
Oh, wow. That's sweet. Thank you, Meg.
She goes on. She says that I wouldn't have had the opportunities I've been afforded without her. Most importantly, she's fearless and willing to try, which, I mean...
That's
makers, we're all kind of introverts. Like that is our secret hobbies.
It is true. It is true. I guess I've always kind of lived my life a little bit more of an adventurer. Just go for it. If you knew me, I just kind of go with the wind. A lot of opportunities that come towards me, I just go for it. And same with this. I was living in the States and I just had a baby, and I was part of a co-op over there, and this came available and I just went for it with 12 people, not knowing what was going to happen. And it just sort of, I had to catch up on how it was evolving. So, and it worked out really great. It either works out or it doesn't. And I guess you just have to kind of go for it. And I like that.
Well, it is fun. I mean, I haven't done a market, oh my gosh, since I was little with my gram. My very first job was working a booth, a knitting booth at the Lucan Fair with my gram and all of my great aunts and my great grandmother. And there's nothing better than working a craft booth. People get so excited when they see oh my God, this must have taken you forever.
Yeah, they really appreciate it. And that was sort of the thing, is that a lot of people, when I was just doing markets, were saying, do you sell your stuff in any stores? And that kind of like got me thinking about that. Why do we have to wait for a market? And even at that time, there weren't very many around. Now it's just every weekend in the summer there's a market. But now back then it was like you had to wait for a market and it was maybe 6 months away. So now you can come into a store like this and find it all the time.
And this is unique.
And support your people. So it's a good opportunity, and I'm glad that it kind of...
I really wish we had more. I think you need to franchise out and have more stores.
Well, I mean, I didn't reinvent the wheel, but
but you have a knack for.
And that's the thing. It's about relationships, and it's about having that business sense. And I will say that creators are amazing at creating what they make, but sometimes the business sense is a challenge, and the accounting and all those things that go along with it. And I grew up in a very business background family. My dad was an accountant. My mother had a small business. My brother has a small business. So I like that I can sort of offer some of that business side to the makers, so then they become a little bit more well-rounded with their business.
And do all of them work here? Because I know some of it, like I know Meg works here.
Right.
A couple, do they all work or just some?
I was part of a co-op in Michigan, and you had to work. But I felt that missed out on a lot of really great potential in the shop. And so I wanted to make sure I had an option here for people who have full-time jobs. And this is something on the side to make extra money, because there's so many great makers out there that can't work. They just either have families or they work 9 to 5. So it's definitely not an obligation. But I will say the proof is in the pudding. If you work in the shop, you definitely get more out of it. The more you put in, the more you get out of it. And when customers meet these people that contributed to the shop, and you talk about their process and talk about what they make and that sort of thing, you definitely, you can see it in your sales. I will say that.
Well, you can bring an excitement to it. Like if I was to work here, it's like, so-and-so makes these wonderful felts.
Yep.
But for her to be here to talk about them, her face would light up.
I can sell everybody else's stuff in the store better than my own, for sure.
Well, you're unique.
So, but it's true, because everybody's super supportive, and that's the key, is finding people that fit the idea of the model, fit what my idea is and the integrity that I want for the store, because it really can work for their business and really give them the exposure that they want. And by meeting the customer and getting ideas from the customer that they might have never thought of before for their business, which again is great.
Okay, now I already said that last year you worked an awful lot with or on the Walkerville BIA, and there was a ton of open streets.
Markets, the pop-up markets. So I'm on the board for the Walkerville BIA for the last 6 years. And this year I was the chair of the event committee.
Oh, wow.
So, well, there was really no committee left, but it was just sort of me. But COVID obviously sort of, dampened a lot of markets and indie festivals and whatnot. But so last year we just kind of decided, let's just go for it. And I have a bit of an event planning background. So I thought, well, I'm just going to do my events for Walkerville. And so we did 4 pop-up markets. The Art Walk, Walkerville Art Walk, which was joint with the city event for Canada Day, and then I did the Mistletoe Market at Christmas.
Yeah. And you also, I know you do run the Rose City Etsy markets.
Yes.
On top of everything else.
So that kind of evolved. I was at an event in London, the Etsy Made in Canada event, and Etsy was there, and they noticed I was from Windsor. And what they have is Etsy teams all across Canada. There's 38 of them from different cities, and it enables us to use the Etsy name to put on markets. So in essence, we're kind of like an ambassador. So I became Windsor Essex ambassador, I guess, for Etsy Canada. And so the first few years I put on the Etsy Made in Canada, did a couple spring events and whatnot, and then COVID, and we didn't do anything. And then last year is kind of when it all kind of fell into place again. But I didn't use the Etsy name. I just did it for Walkerville.
The mistletoe.
The mistletoe market has sort of been sort of like an Etsy event without the Etsy, I guess.
Yeah.
But because one, not everyone's on Etsy. So I don't want to sort of, leave out a lot of really great potential makers. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Is there any one thing that you haven't had in here yet?
Oh boy.
Because we have so many diverse.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'd be missing until that person applies. Or I just see them scrolling Instagram and I'm like, hey, I need to meet you.
I love these shirts. These shirts are amazing. Those are so cute.
For sure.
There's way too many things to even describe here. It's something that you really do have to either check out on Instagram, but definitely come in, because a lot of stuff, they're just way better in person than they are online.
And they're unique. So it's almost like one of a kind with a lot of stuff that if you see it and you really like it, especially like the pottery, chances are they're not going to have that glaze and that color again. So you are getting sort of a one of a kind. And they always said the best gifts are handmade.
And you got the handmade cards to go with the handmade gifts.
Yes. So that's the thing, just trying to find well-rounded items for the shop. And obviously we don't want to compete with anybody. I'm not going to have 2 macrame artists or anything like that. So because we want to support each other, because why not 40 people in the shop all market and support each other in one spot? Because it's not every man for themselves anymore. You have to kind of be there for everyone. So.
Which is why I'm not on here yet. No, seriously, I don't even have half the talent that you guys have. It's amazing.
Maybe in time, you never know.
I mean, I've only been doing it for 40
This seems to be
years.
your talent, though.
I'm getting there. But where can we find you online?
So a lot of people ask if we have a website. We don't have a website. Yeah. It's really tricky because a lot of items are pretty unique. But we want you to come in. The idea is that you can come in and see and feel and touch and look at everything in person. So it's social media, Instagram and Facebook. We post there regularly. All the marketing is through there.
Yeah. And they're always in my stories at YQG and Bloom.
I am tagging you now.
Hey, I don't mind. I love them because it gives me an excuse to come in and look.
Yeah. But things change so much that it's that's the best place to find us for sure.
Okay. Yeah. And if they wanted to come in here, whereabouts are we located and your hours?
Okay. So we are in the middle of Walkerville, pretty much on the corner of Chilver and Wyandotte. We're open Wednesday to Sunday, 11 to 6. Yeah.
It's wonderful.
We're here.
Honestly, you do have to come in. I'm not even just saying that because she's here. It is a fabulous store. You get lost in it. But the minute you walk in here, the smells of the soaps and the teas and the lotions. We got Terra Green Gardens here.
You do have to take your time. You have to do a couple laps to catch everything.
You do, because there's different things in each little nook and cranny. I mean, like you have little bracelets right behind you that most people wouldn't see unless they're looking. It's probably one of my most favorite places to come into the Walkerville area.
The best part, I think, is that each time you come in, you'll get to meet a different maker who's made something. And chances are they're making something at the front desk, and you can ask them what they're doing and how they're making it and how long they've been doing it. And their stories of how they've stumbled across this craft is always the best part.
Or you have Meg jumping around, dancing, and doing her Instagram stories.
Yeah, it's great.
Which is always fun. Okay, can you give us a little hint of who our new makers are going to be?
So one is a laser engraver. His name is Scott from Edmonds & Co. Woodcraft. He's been doing it for a few years. And again, he's one of those makers that is sort of evolving like traditional engraving into some really cool wood signs and making cribbage boards and things like that.
Games.
Yeah. Nice. So it's going to be kind of interesting. And he's going to be working at the shop. We don't get a lot of men. Yeah, I will say, like, crafters are generally women. So it's going to be kind of nice to have a man working at the store. And then Heidi from the Bee Diva is coming in the shop, and she makes some great, amazing jewelry.
She really has. And she seemed to be at every market this year.
So
every time
it's her full-time gig. So she was definitely open to every market, every art show, everything possible. It was kind of great to see. She's really pushing it hard, and she does great work, and she's got a great personality for the shop and for markets to talk to people.
Is she going to be working in here
and
too?
She's going to be working at the shop, of course. So I'm kind of excited for that.
Oh, yeah. I am too. I'm going to have to come in because, again, I tell everybody her son made this bracelet that I wear, and it is a lava rock bracelet. And
there'll probably be some days where Max is here and making some bracelets
I
and
hope
stuff.
So he is the cutest kid because he was at a lot of the markets as well.
Yeah.
And in fact, I get these essential oils from down the street at Smudge Metaphysical.
Yeah, nice.
Metaphysical.
Nice. Yes. Another great business in the area.
There are tons.
Yes.
Tons of businesses in this area. Oh my goodness. I love it. And I'm just looking actually out behind the one camera. I didn't realize how many greeting cards you guys had.
Yes, there's, I think 4 or 5. So either we have a graphic designer making some cards and then a couple of artists.
Well, this is really the one-stop shop. We have your crafts, we have the jewelry, we have greeting cards. We even have teas in the back there. All we need is some wrapping paper and we got it all.
And we do have the gift bag, so we're good.
Okay, never mind. We do have everything here. So you definitely do have to get down to Urban Art Market in Walkerville as soon as you can because it's a gem. It's a hidden gem in Windsor. And again, I want to thank Anissa at Urban Art Market for being here today. My name is Tracy Martins, and thank you for joining us for YQG in Bloom. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.